What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, October 28th, and I wanted to discuss what's going on this week in Dungeon Defenders 2. Now, first things first, we know that the Drakenfrost mod rotation will change tonight at midnight. Now, up next, we are going to have the Frozen Path mod, which this mod is not really exceptional by any means. However, the benefit of this mod is it will slow some enemies that cannot be slowed. So, although it's debatable whether or not it's even worth using this mod for this particular issue, you can slow frost enemies, which are otherwise immune to slow, using the Frozen Path mod. Now, moving right on into the hotness, this week's Prime Incursions, we have the Dawn of the Blood Moon. So we're going to be fighting the Eye of Cthulhu once again in Dungeon Defenders 2, this time at what is currently an unknown difficulty level. I'm hoping that this is not too overwhelming as a challenge, as most of you that remember when this boss first came out, there were some bugs with the boss that would allow you to insta-kill him or run him off a map. However, he was quite brutal to burn through if you weren't super careful. A few tips on this map is, first off, to just move things back a little. Don't go up and try to spawn camp, as there are going to be additional spawns throughout the map. First off, there's going to be skeleton spawns that pop up right here. So if you're spawn camping, then obviously your skeleton spawns are going to just walk right past and over to your cores. Now, also remember that this map is very generous with DU, and although you want to have your main setup moved back, if you have leftover DU, you can always throw some kind of spawn campiness in up front to help thin out those lanes. Now, in addition, on this lane, we actually get a whole new lane, as there will be skeletons spawning from right there, and they, of course, will just come and walk down the ramp, making the ramp area, or up above it, the ideal choke point for this lane. In the middle lanes, you can have skeleton spawns that come up out of these 2 points. So once again, by just moving your defenses back, if you set up a spawn camp, you could potentially have problems in this middle lane here, as there will be skeletons spawning there. Now, this far lane is actually completely reworked. You have the regular lane that comes out of there. However, there's also going to be skeletons spawning from right here, walking out and down the path. And then there's also a whole additional lane coming from back here. And these mobs, of course, will come all the way around onto the main path and then down. That would make the ideal choke point for these 3 lanes to be right here in this area, just after the point where these 2 paths come in. Now, the problem with that, particularly on this lane, is that makes for a really, really long run. There's just a super long way for mobs to go. As you see here in this Chaos 3 variety, there's 624 mobs, so I mean, we can expect there to be a lot of mobs coming, and those maps can take a really long time to burn through, particularly if there's a really long walking path. So same thing there, you will want to build a safety area to cover all the lanes. However, with the generous amount of DU left over on this map, you should be able to move up an additional set of defenses to help thin the crowd and make this map take not quite so long. Now, we don't know, of course, if we're going to see it, but another thing to keep an eye out on is there is some buggy spawns on this map where skeletons can spawn like right from here at the base of this ramp where they're not supposed to, so you will want to keep an eye out on that since it is just close to the core. And then, of course, in the very last wave, we have the Eye to fight. Now, the Eye is going to come from one of the far outside lanes, so it's going to come from either this lane or this lane over here. Now, it is marked on the lane billboards where exactly the boss will be coming out, so you will be able to see the boss heading out exactly from what area, because as you're fighting him, you're definitely not going to want to fight him anywhere near the core. Depending on how quick we're able to burn this boss down, he does enter a stage where the boss will go back and forth and be quite devastating to anything in its path. So if you're fighting him in the core, it's really tough for you to control this direction. You don't want him coming anywhere near it. If he just runs past it, it will do damage to it. And one other important thing to note is you get special flyers on this map. You get the little eyes that come and directly come to the player. These, of course, are from the Terraria crossover and a really nice addition. The eyes will target the player. They are going to go directly to the player, even if they come from that far lane and you're over here. So you do want to be careful about those eyes coming at you. Now, they are really squishy, so they should be pretty easy to burn down. However, you do want to make sure you pay attention to them. So that will do it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to click that like button and please subscribe to the channel. And I will be back soon with more Dungeon Defenders 2. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.